Hey, good afternoon, everybody. John here with Damn Straight Media in another episode of Damn Straight Media Live. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being out here with me. Appreciate it very much. It's always good to be seen by everybody. Boy, we got a great show for you today. Um, we're going to do some follow up on the show that I did on the 27th, 2 days ago. We have some new information coming out of the state of New Jersey, as well as new information coming out of the Democratic National Committee. So we're going to cover that stuff real quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show today, which we're going to be talking about the Biden tapes. Also, going to be talking about Mondani and these communist grocery stores that he's got coming out. I think they're going to be ready in sometime in 2027, all on the New York State taxpayer dime, of course. We're going to get into the details of that too, because they're going to be dropping prices 30% lower than retail, and he's claiming that this is it's all free. Yeah, well, somebody's paying for it. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about an outstanding. This is explosive stuff here. The Natalie Winters. If you don't know her, she is a journalist, and she works on Steve Bannon's War Room. Of course, Steve Bannon was a former uh, uh, Trump advisor back under his first administration. Steve Bannon went to prison for contempt of Congress for a few months, and during that time, Natalie Winters, she actually took over the show, Bannon's War Room, during the time he was gone. But God, she is one hell of a reporter. She has uncovered a laundry list of American journalists who are on the Chinese payroll. And we're going to go through all of that today. That's going to be the final segment of the show. Again, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being out here with Damn Straight Media. And so let's get started right now. Mickey Sherrill, the brand new, so I think she's 6 months in. This is the photo I showed you guys 2 days ago, but she's 6 months into her tenure as the New Jersey governor. And right now, she's taken a lot of heat for something that she really had no say over. This bombshell information came out that there was, gosh, I think it was upwards of 6,600 or something like that, illegal aliens who were added to the voter rolls in the state of New Jersey. When the story broke, the newspaper who broke the story was actually the New York Times, which is very surprising. You think they would have buried something like that. But she came out and claimed that this was a software glitch, a major software glitch. But the software company, it is a French software company, they have come out and made a statement saying that the New Jersey governor is lying. So we're going to go through that right now. But she is the Trump administration, and there's a reporter that asked her. We're going to listen to the video here in just a second. But she is refusing to share any of the information on the illegals who were added to the voter rolls, including the 400 or so that she claims actually cast ballots in the 2025 election, or 2024, and probably 2025 elections. So let's listen to that real quick. This photo is her during the conference, the news conference. Here, let's listen.
The Trump administration is seeking, I believe by today, the list of non-citizens who are registered to vote, the approximately 400 that did vote. To what extent will your administration comply with the Trump administration's request in that regard?
As I have said, I am not in the habit of turning over private identifying information of the citizens of New Jersey. This federal government is weaponizing the government against individuals that disagree with them. They weaponized my private data against me in my election, and so I am working to protect people and their private data here in New Jersey. All right, thank you very much.
Of course, she's got a friendly crowd there, very friendly crowd, everybody clapping, and she referred to the Trump administration was seeking information on the illegals. These are not citizens of New Jersey, as she stated. She called them citizens. They are not citizens of New Jersey. These are non-citizens, Governor, and you know it. She also claims that the federal government is weaponizing the federal government based on disagreeing with policy. That is not true. That's a lie. But again, she had a very friendly crowd there. Of course, they started cheering for her and clapping. And, oh, yay, it's all a bunch of liberals. But they're not weaponizing anything. They want those people taken off the voter rolls in the state of New Jersey. They are not citizens. They're not weaponized. They need to be removed, period. And you know what? Right now, this is really important here because I'm going to read this to you. IDEMIA, that is the name of the company, the software company. They are a French company. It says here, meanwhile, IDEMIA, the French software vendor, blamed for the illegal voter registration, says Cheryl's claim that they caused the glitch is a lie. So they have come right out and said that she is lying. This quote right here is from a spokesperson for IDEMIA. Her name is Lisa Schumacher, whatever you want to call her. The 6,600 records submitted to the Motor Vehicle Commission and Division of Elections contained correct information according to the design specifications as set out by the state. All 6,600 individuals indicated yes to wanting to register to vote and no to being a U.S. citizen. So the people did not lie. They wanted to vote, yes, okay, because it's going to ask, do you want to vote? Yeah, we want to. Are you a U.S. citizen? No. Well, automatically, that should disqualify them, but not in the state of New Jersey, not in blue states, not going to happen. This information was recorded correctly and always available. So the state of New Jersey knew. They knew what they were doing. And it goes on to say here, the last point that Lisa Schumacher made, at no point was a non-citizen ever marked as a citizen in the database. So there you have it, folks. The idea that it was a massive software glitch or an error, as Mickey Sherrill said the other day on the 27th, that was a flat-out lie. I mentioned it the other day, too. You remember Trump back in 2024 held a rally down in New Jersey. It was the largest political rally in the state's history. It was massive. Massive. Even New York State, the margins that Trump lost by were so small, comparatively speaking, to years prior. Even Kathy Hochul. The reason I bring up New York is because when you talk about New York City, you also look at New Jersey. They're right next to one another. Politically, they're ideologically the same. But I tell you right now, man, New Jersey, New York, times are changing. People are tired. Look at the number of people who are leaving the Northeast. They're leaving New York City, New York State in general, New Jersey. They're bailing out because it's too expensive. Too expensive, too ridiculous. It's just outrageous, the cost of living in these blue states. But there you have it, folks. Mickey Sherrill is a lying sack of liberal shit. She is. And like I said the other day on the 27th, isn't it funny how it's always a software glitch or some kind of issue that caused the problem to swing in the favor of the Democrat Party? Isn't it funny how that always works? And the reason I brought it up the other day is precisely because of what I'm showing you today. I'm sharing with you today that the software company said there was no glitch. The state of New Jersey knew exactly who these people were, and they added them to the voter rolls anyway. Folks, this is happening across the country. State of Illinois, New York State. I can't wait for New York State. I would love to see it because in addition, when we talk about Mamdani today, we're going to talk a little bit about the New York City mayoral race back in 2025, because there is a chance that he did not win that race legitimately. There is information that is broken. I think it came out yesterday that I'm going to share with you today, and it's quite damning. It really is. So next up, another follow-up from yesterday. This gentleman right here, Ken Martin, Democrats are coming out against the DNC chair, Joe Scarborough, on his show, said, how does this guy still have a job as the DNC chair? And one of the things that this guy is dealing with right now is extreme paranoia. He is worried about losing his job as well. He should be. Folks, I said it the other day on the show. The DNC has put up their headquarters back in 2025 for a $15 million loan. $15 million bucks. They took out a loan and put up their headquarters as collateral. Can you but $15 million in terms of politics? I mean, the political landscape, $15 million bucks is nothing. It's a paltry sum, especially when you look at the GOP. I mentioned the other day that the Trump PAC has got $400 million. The RNC is sitting on $130 million right now. They are flush with cash. They have plenty of cash, and they're coming into the midterms. I want everybody to realize that the idea that the midterm election is going to go to the Democrats, it's not going to happen. These guys are in shambles right now, shambles. So this is great news for the Republican Party. As I said, the DNC headquarters was put up as collateral for $15 million. Martin is suffering fits of paranoia. Now, here's the kicker. I caught this. I caught this today. James Carville, of course, the walking skeleton and former Clinton aide and Democrat strategist and all-around whack job. Hold on a minute. I'm not gonna show you Carville, but this is a picture of Carville wants actually David Hogg, the little punk. Yeah, here, I've got the report right here. Democrat National Committee is a mess. They're so broke that they're recently put their headquarters building up as collateral in order to get access to cash. States are openly threatening to defy their new primary schedule as well. So the DNC not only is broke, but they are facing a massive rebellion. Massive rebellion. Carville wants David Hogg to take over as the DNC chair. Now, if you recall, back in 2025, Hogg was actually voted out as the vice chair. It was 294 to 99 to boot Hogg from the position. That was back in June of last year, so a little over a year ago. But Carville wants David Hogg back, and here he is right here. Who knew? Now, David Hogg is apparently a big fan of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, as you can tell by the hairdo there. I saw that and I said, God, he almost looks identical. Now, for those of you who don't know, David Hogg is not the man on the phone. Okay, David Hogg is the guy in the blue shirt, not the Hawaiian shirt. That is none other than Jim Carrey on the phone there, playing Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. What a great movie that was. Just the whole franchise. I think, didn't he do 2 or 3 of them or something like that? But I saw the hair and I said, my God, that's Ace Ventura. Look at him. He's got to be a fan. He has to be a fan of that movie. Got to be. I mean, to go on camera looking like that? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? To show up. I mean, he's either hung over or he is just a huge Ace Ventura fan. Got to be. There's no way he should be on camera looking that way. But I had to share the photo. I saw it. I said, my God, I got to do a double. I have to. So I put that together and threw it up there. Wow, how cool is that, really? Nice hair, man. Unbelievable. Carville wants David Hogg back as the DNC chair. Now, if you recall, Hogg was he was really coming out against a lot of prominent Democrats last year as the DNC vice chair. He spoke out against Pelosi. I believe he spoke out against Schumer. And the truth is, this guy, David Hogg, is one of these Democratic Socialists of America. He is DSA all the way. These old school Democrats, as radical as they are not quite radical enough. And not only that, but they're old. He wants these fresh young people in there, like the AOCs and the Jasmine Crockett's. Of course, Crockett is gone. She's history. Jay Crocker, Thugalicious, I like to call her. AOC. He wants these young socialists, these communists is really what he wants. That's what he wants. And I'm surprised that Carville came out in favor of this guy to take over the DNC when he was already booted out once. But not only that, but David Hogg apparently. Reports came out last year in 2024 when he was elected as the vice chair that he was spending massive amounts of money, DNC money, on frivolous stuff like travel and stuff like that. And it's one of the reasons they got rid of him. And I guess he was causing a lot of strife inside the organization. As a matter of fact, last year, Ken Martin, the DNC chair, the current DNC chair, threatened to resign because of David Hogg. So those two, it sounds like they were butting heads, which, who's surprised? Anytime you get Democrats together, especially when it comes to the socialism that we're seeing these days coming out of the Democrat Party, especially when you look at it like that, there's always going to be a power struggle, always. And these people are so goddamn insecure. The only thing that they all have in common is their work ethic. They will stop at nothing to meet their goals or exceed their goals, whatever it may be, whatever their policy goals are. They'll do whatever they have to do. That includes cheating. It includes the propaganda of the media. It includes everything. There are no stops. They will stop at nothing to obtain their or to bring about their agenda. So there you have it, folks. The Democrat National Committee is imploding. They're broke. DNC chair Ken Martin is suffering from fits of paranoia, and the Democrat Party is coming out against them. There are some prominent Democrats in the media, prominent Democrats in both houses of Congress that want to see this guy disappear. But to be honest with you, it's too little, too late. I think it's way too late for the what you call it, the midterms here. I think the Democrat Party, I think their goose is cooked, and this certainly does not help. Next up, we're going to move into the show, the Biden tapes. Yes, sir, the Biden tapes. I got to find hang on, oversight. So last Friday, Joe Biden gave up the fight and declined to seek further review on the appeals court ruling on the release of 70 hours of conversation with the ghostwriter. Now, just to remind everybody, when we talked about this the other day, Joe Biden cognitively was in much, much, much better condition back during the taping of this stuff. This is back in during the Trump administration. Was it not? Or yeah, it was. It was during the Trump administration that these tapes were made. The tapes make clear that Biden disclosed massive amounts of classified information to his ghostwriter, Mark Zwanitzer. The Oversight Project VP of Litigation, Jeff Clark, said. Now, Jeffrey Clark, was actually, where the hell is it? Hang on. So now, so the tapes have been released. The DOJ can now release the tapes that Hur obtained in the classified docs probe. We have, of course, the photographs. Okay. These are the photographs. I'm going to show you several of them. These are the infamous photographs of his garage, boxes of classified documents sitting there in his garage. Let's see. We got another one here. And then, of course, we have the big one. We all remember the classified docs. This is Joe Biden in his Corvette, driving his Corvette when he was actually able to drive. And you can see in the background there, it's circled the boxes upon boxes of. Oops! I just knocked over my camera. Hang on a second. Let me fix it. How's that? Yeah. All right. We're good. Sorry about that. But you see all the boxes there, all of the classified documents sitting right behind his Corvette. So, now, one of the things that was brought to everybody's attention here, and I'm gonna where Swanser, the tapes make clear. I got to find out where the guy is, what his name was. Jeff Clark. Yeah, the guy, Oversight Project VP of Litigation, Jeff Clark, said the tapes make clear that Biden disclosed massive amounts of classified information to his ghostwriter, Mark Zwanitzer. Now, some of this may be classified, so be careful. That was a quote from Joe Biden. Let me find it. Hang on one second. So basically what Jeff Clark is saying, any person convicted, this basically what this does is this falls under 18 USC 798, I believe it was. Yeah, 18 USC 798. Basically what should be happening to Biden right now is he should be bankrupted. The Delaware house where the activity took place. And now we're talking about him sharing classified documents with the ghostwriter. There's no telling who he shared this information with other than the ghostwriter. Why was all of this stuff located at his house? And if you recall, there were also no visitor logs for his home. We have no idea who was coming in and out of there. No idea. There is so much information, so much damage that could have been done. But based on the law, and I actually have the law here. I brought it up at Cornell University. I'm going to share it with you right now. This is 18 USC Code 798, Disclosure of Classified Information. Whoever knowingly or willfully communicates, furnishes, transmits, or otherwise makes available to an unauthorized person or publishes or uses any manner of prejudicial to the safety or interest of the United States or for the benefit of any foreign government to the detriment of the United States, any classified information concerning the nature, preparation, or use of any code, cipher, cryptographic system of the United States or any foreign government, or number 2, concerning the design, construction, use, maintenance, or repair of any device, apparatus, or appliance used or prepared or planned for use by the United States or any foreign government for cryptographic or communication intelligence purposes. Number 3, concerning the communication intelligence activities of the United States or any foreign government, or obtained by the process of communication intelligence from the. So they cover everything. In other words, you're not supposed to share this stuff with anybody. Any person convicted of a violation of these sections shall forfeit to the United States, irrespective of any provision of state law, any property constituting or derived from any proceeds the person obtained directly or indirectly as a result of such violation. There you have it, folks. Any of the person's property used or intended to be used in any manner or part to commit or facilitate the commission of such violation. That would mean any property that he owns that was used in the commission of this criminal activity. That would mean his Delaware home. Based on 18 U.S.C. 798, he should forfeit all monies and also forfeit his property. Now, I don't know if he owns other properties. I do know that Joe Biden had classified information stashed all over the eastern seaboard. I know he had it in his college office. In other areas, I think in Virginia, I don't know if he owned those properties or what the deal was. But I do know that based on the law, the Delaware property should be forfeited and sold. Once it's sold, the money should be given to the federal government, which means that the money should be given to the American people, back to the American taxpayers. And he should forfeit any cash that he has. Now, he had just got $8 million for this book deal that he's got coming out. That money should also be forfeited. Essentially, what should happen to Joe Biden right now at this point is he should be bankrupted. He should be. And a lot of people were asking, why did Robert Hur give him a pass way back when? And the idea was, according to Hur, well, he doesn't have a good memory. He's old and senile. I don't care. The guy broke the law. It's time for him to pay the price. At the very least, he should be wiped out completely financially. His entire family should be wiped out. That includes Jill. It includes Hunter and anybody else who benefited from the overall criminal activity. And it's not just this. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that these guys did. Hell, he was on the Chinese payroll. I mean, shit. We're going to talk about this. These journalists that Natalie Winters came up with this report from her, and who's surprised? Hell, Joe Biden was on the Chinese payroll. How many millions of dollars did he get from China, Ukraine? I know that he was paid off by a Russian oligarch. I can't remember what the woman's name was. It was a woman who paid the Biden family. I think it was it $500,000 or something like that? I can't remember. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that he was paid pretty handsomely by the Chinese government as well as the Ukrainian government. So there you have it, folks. Joe Biden, based on 18 U.S.C. 798, should be financially wiped out. That includes, again, all monies should be taken, forfeited. All property should be forfeited and taken over by the federal government. That includes that beautiful Corvette that he was sitting in front of that box of classified documents sitting in his garage. So all of it should be forfeited and handed over to the American people. That's right, folks. That's right. Again, no visitor logs. We have no idea who went into the house. And all of the stuff was taken while he was vice president. And, that was a big deal. Oh, he was president of the United States. He can do that. No, he can't. He took it during his vice presidency, and there's only one person on the planet who can declassify this stuff, and that's the president of the United States. All of this stuff was classified, and he stole it. So, should have gone to prison a long fucking time ago. Anyway, let's move on here. Mom Donnie and his grocery stores. This I like this picture of Mom Donnie. This really shows exactly who he is. Look how evil those eyes are, man. There is nothing good about this man. Nothing good about this man whatsoever. This guy is just beyond evil. Look at that face. Look at him. Just look at those eyes, man. God, he is one scary dude. Really. But he is right now on the verge of, what the hell happened to my photo? Hang on a second. I got to pull this up. Hang on. I have a picture of him standing before a grocery store or a grocery, a bunch of produce. And hang on. Gotcha. I can't believe I didn't do it. I thought I did it. Son of a gun. Come on, John. Get your shit together, man. All right, I'm going to share it with you. Right now. So there it is. That's Mom Donnie. That is him standing before a bunch of what looks to be nice, fresh produce. This is really incredible. This guy is actually going to be marking this stuff down 30% below retail. That's the idea. 30% below retail on all staple items. That includes milk, eggs, chicken, fruits, veggies, cheese, rice, seafood, bread. I do have a question, though. How much of this stuff is going to be halal food? And are they going to sell pork? Any pork sausage, any pork butts? Are they going to sell any pork, or is it all? Because it does say seafood, bread, meats. I'm assuming beef and chicken are definitely a thing. But the question remains: are they going to include pork? And if they do include pork, is that also going to be marked down 30%, or are people going to be forced to pay regular retail? In addition to that, I'd like to know, $70 million is being set aside in New York taxpayer capital. This is our money that's being used. The city is going to own the land, the space, cover the construction, the renovations, rent, and property taxes. My question is, who is eating this 30% reduction in cost? And the reason that I ask this question, is because there is, I'm going to read it for you. So hold on a second. First look at according to Ben Dami, where is it? So basically what's going to happen is Mamdani is going to be hiring out grocery store chains. And they're going to do the hiring and the firing of all the people who work here. My question is, who is going to eat the cost of the discounts? 30%. These eggs, all of the eggs, the milk, the chicken, the fruits, the veggies, the cheese, the rice, the seafood, the bread, all of it is going to be discounted 30%. These are staple items. Somebody has to eat this cost. I can promise you it's not going to be the vendors who are selling it. They're not going to do it. What the hell is the point of the vendors coming to work or putting their stuff into a grocery store where they're going to be cutting it 30%? It's stupid. They lose everything. They're losing money if that's the case. I'll tell you who's going to be on the hook for it is the New York State taxpayer. In order for him to lower this stuff 30%, somebody has to pay for it, and the vendors are not going to pay for it. They're going to lose money. Not only that, but if they are going to reduce the cost on these goods to 30%, they're going to be selling out of this stuff in no time. People are going to go in there and buy the stuff up in droves. Are they going to start putting some sort of a restriction on how much you buy? Oh, you're only allowed 1 dozen eggs. You're only allowed 1/2 gallon of milk. You're only allowed a loaf of bread. Folks, you're going to start to see rationing. People are going to want to save money. They're going to save 30% over retail. You bet your ass these places are going to sell out in no time. That's when you're going to start to see food rationing. Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. Like I said, the vendors are not going to eat that cost. New York State taxpayers are going to be on the hook for that. And we all remember Margaret Thatcher. her wonderful quote, communism is great until you run out of other people's money. And isn't that the fucking truth? Folks, fucking communism has been tried so many goddamn times. It has been tried so many freaking times across the globe, and it fails every fucking time. Right now, the only communist nation that is surviving is China. And the only reason that China is surviving is because they did things quite a bit differently. They allowed foreign investment into their country. Sure, they did. The Chinese government is still afloat today because of the United States, because of the American dollar. They wouldn't have survived without America coming over there. I had a good family friend of mine who worked in the aerospace industry for a number of years. And he used to travel to China. And basically what his job was to go over there and start, I guess, these, the kind of like business opportunity areas. And in order for the company that he worked for to get business from the Chinese government, that includes the Chinese military, he was forced to go over there and set up economic zones within China to help grow their economy. Yeah, so you help us grow your economy. If you want to do business with us, you'll do this for us. But basically what it was is legalized extortion. Yeah. So that's how China has done it. That's how China has done it with the United States, with the help of the United States. If I could tell you right now, if the United States had acted towards China the same way that it does towards Cuba to the south of us, China would look much like Cuba looks today. Yeah. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. How unfortunate. Moving on here, folks. This last segment that we're going to talk about today, Natalie Winters. She is one hell of a journalist. Now, she works with, she's part of Steve Bannon's War Room, his podcast. This is a picture of her, but she is so beautiful, too. She's very easy on the eyes. And I'm sorry I'm bringing it up, but she is just one hell of a nice-looking woman. She really is. And my God, she is just a freaking awesome journalist. She uncovers stuff that most people won't even touch. And right now, what she has uncovered, I'm going to bring it up. Right now, what she has uncovered is that dozens of American journalists are on the Chinese payroll. Here he is, Mr. Minnie Mao. Minnie Mao. It's like Mini Me, Mini Moo, Minnie Mao. Xi Jinping. Yes. Xi Jinping. So Natalie Winters, she actually did, she put this out on, what you call it? Hang on one second. Let me pull it up. I got to bring it up here. Hang on. She put this out on her Substack page. And if you, folks, if you want to go to it too, it's Natalie G. Winters at Substack.com. Natalie, Natalie G. Winters, all one word, at Substack.com. You can see it out there. It's probably at the top of the list. But basically, what she has done here, folks, she's uncovered just a massive scandal in the liberal journalists, in liberal journalism in general. But the names that are on the Chinese payroll, these are American journalists who were actually flown over to China on China's dime. She claims that they have been there on the Chinese payroll. Now, I don't know if being on the Chinese payroll means that the trips were paid for and that's it, or if these journalists are actually receiving cash money for the work that they're doing on behalf of the Chinese government. But here is There are 5 of these screenshots that I have. This is the first one. This is the number one list. This is from Natalie Winters on her X account. Ezra Klein, New York Times columnist. Matthew Iglesias, Vox co-founder. Ron Brownstein, CNN senior political analyst. Bradford Plummer, New York Times reporter. Marjorie Miller, former Associated Press vice president. Next up, there are 5 of these screenshots too. There's just a laundry list. Steve Clemens, he is the former Hill editor at large. David Rode, MS Now or MSNBC senior national security reporter. Jonathan Alter, NBC News and MSNBC political analyst. Dave Sweeney, former NPR managing editor. Daniel Gross, former Yahoo finance columnist. This is the third one coming up. Just a huge list of people. Also on the roster, Marilyn Gewax, former NPR senior editor. Kathleen Devaney, Newsweek editor. Tom Olmsted, former U.S. News and World Report correspondent. Steve Chapman, former Chicago Tribune columnist. Bruce Stokes, former National Journal correspondent. This is the fourth one. Craig Gilbert, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Washington bureau chief. Tony Semerad, Salt Lake Tribune reporter. Shika Dalmia, former The Week columnist. I don't know I never heard of The Week. Jonathan Broder, former Newsweek senior editor. And then the fifth one. Hold on. That was the fourth one. Hang on. Oh, no. I got it on there twice. Oh, my goodness, don't I? I do. I have it on there twice. Not cool. Not cool. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hang on. Let me see. If I need to, I can just read it. Let me see. Yeah, it is the same. Hang on. I'll give you the list of the last 5. Oh, that was it. That was the list. I don't know why the hell I have it on there like that. That was stupid. Whatever. That was that's it, folks. I believe that is all of it. So those are the names, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the names. Hang on. I'm gonna go back here. There I am. Sorry about that, folks. Little glitch. Some really interesting stuff, but these are American journalists on the Chinese payroll. Natalie Winters uncovered the story. This was through the China United States Exchange Foundation. That is the organization, ladies and gentlemen, that actually paid to have these journalists sent over there. So quite amazing, really. My question is, what were they actually paid? How much? How much money? Did they actually, did they profit from it? Did some of these people, were they able to retire? Because you'll notice on the list, some of these were former journalists. How much money did they get? Did they actually get paid? I would love to know. And it did not, I don't believe it said on her investigation. Let me just pull it up here real quick. So I'm going to read some of this. Foreign agent filings reveal that operatives working for a Chinese Communist Party-linked influence organization planned free trips for American journalists based on the potential for favorable coverage and sought to effectively disseminate positive messages about Beijing. But the filings did not plainly identify the reporters who received the access. This is how brilliant this girl is, really. I shouldn't say girl, woman. By cross-referencing the filings with archived newsletters, annual reports, and contemporaneous accounts, this investigation has uncovered the names of prominent American journalists who participated in China trips organized or funded by the China-United States Exchange Foundation, or CUSEF. The roster includes current and former journalists from the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, NPR, Associated Press, Fox, The Atlantic. There's a freaking surprise. The Atlantic, Los Angeles Times, the Chicago Tribune, and many others. In some cases, the trips were followed by columns and reports defending Chinese government policies, attacking President Trump's confrontation with Beijing, or presenting the decline of American manufacturing as unavoidable. CUSEF was founded by Tung Chih-hua, a former vice chairman of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, a central component of the Chinese Communist Party's United Front system. A bipartisan congressional report explains that the United Front seeks to co-opt and neutralize sources of potential opposition to the policies and authority of the CCP. Its targets include foreign governments, universities. Now, there's a thing there, Harvard University just came out, and they are receiving literally millions and millions of dollars from the Chinese Communist Party. Businesses, media organizations, and other institutions capable of shaping public opinion. Washington lobbyists and public relations firms working for the organization describe plans to recruit influential journalists, generate favorable coverage, and effectively disseminate positive messages to the media, key influencers and opinion leaders, and the general public regarding China. But the list is just quite huge. Washington Post columnist Catherine Rampel also disclosed that CUSEF funded one of her China trips. Written at the bottom of two columns, disclosure: my trip is being paid for by the China-United States Exchange Foundation, a Hong Kong-based nonprofit that aims to improve America's understanding of China. Yeah. So at least she came out and disclosed the information. After participating in the CUSEF organized trip, David Rode actually wrote this: unlike the United States, where free market advocates deride the role of government, the Chinese state has played a central role in creating, supporting, and expanding businesses here. He also defended the economic opportunities created by Beijing's system. Those successes show that for all the attacks from American politicians on China's currency manipulation, American companies can find profits in China. You know, like I just mentioned, that good friend of mine who worked in the aerospace industry was flying over there to set up economic zones in order for the company that he worked for to do business in China. So it was, again, legalized extortion, typical communist arm twisting. Rode then argued that Americans should accept the permanent disappearance of large-scale domestic industry. This is about manufacturing. Americans, meanwhile, should accept the large-scale manufacturing will never return to the United States. Ezra Klein defended aspects of China's response to COVID-19, writing on X, I keep hearing that China bought us some real time and our government wasted it doing nothing and downplaying the threat. So she's trying to protect China. Matthew Iglesias, Moody's, S&P, and the People's Bank of China should just run the government. China, Steve Chapman, China may have a bad human rights record, but you don't have to take off your shoes for airport security. Oh, God, what an asshole. Biden publicly introduced clements to Chinese Vice President Li Yuanchao as a very important man. Biden then encouraged the Chinese official to speak with Clemens, declaring he's the one you really want to speak to. So all of this is all under Natalie Winters, Natalie G. Winters at Substack.com if you want to read the full report. Boy, I tell you what, Dan, she did a hell of a job with this. This is really incredible. So anyway, folks, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you being out here. Hope you enjoyed the show. I will be back on what's today, Wednesday. I'll be back on Friday with another one. I am certain that I am going to have some follow up stuff for this show as well on Friday. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention too, Tony Romo. Because on the 27th I talked about Romo getting arrested for DUI up in Milwaukee. Well, it appears that Tony Romo, the police officer who arrested him, actually had her body cam on. And if you go out, I'm not going to share the audio because it's kind of garbled. You can't really hear it. But if you go out to the Gateway Pundit, you can actually see the video of him being pulled over. He was asked if he would be willing to do a sobriety test, and Tony Romo is obviously very dumb. He was sitting in the car, and he said, well, I'm going to call my attorney right now. And she said, no, exit the vehicle. And he said, no, I'm going to call my attorney first before I do anything. And she got mad at him and told him, get out of the vehicle, exit the vehicle right now. So he was not allowed to call his attorney, which I don't know if that's going to be an issue. The thing is, when it comes to field sobriety tests, and I mentioned this on the 27th the other day, you are not obligated to do a field sobriety test. You are also not obligated to blow into the little thing to check your blood alcohol content. You don't have to do that. And of course, you always have the right to stay quiet. You don't have to say anything. How much did you have to drink today? She asked Tony Romo. I don't know if he answered the question. It was hard to tell if he actually told her, yes, I had something to drink. What you should say in that case is, officer, under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, I would like to exercise my right under the Fifth Amendment not to answer any questions unless I have an attorney present. That's what you say. That's exactly what you say. And when they ask if you're willing to do a field sobriety test, you tell them, no, I'm not doing anything. It's a trap, folks. It's a trap. You are not obligated to do a field sobriety test for them. You don't have to get out and touch your fingers to the end of your nose and stand on one foot or recite the alphabet backwards. It's all a trap. They're setting you up. And I get it. Listen, if Tony Romo is guilty of DUI, then he should pay a price for it. But don't hand everything over to the cops on a silver platter. If you've done something wrong, shut up, get an attorney. It's your right. Do it. Don't say anything. Tony Romo, you screwed up. Whatever. Anyway, that's all I got for you, folks. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. Always a pleasure. And I will be back on Friday with another show at noon. We will see you then. Take it easy.